Welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Playbook. This week is episode number 100, and this week I have Alison Bresciani with me today. Alison, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Joe?
Awesome, great. Glad to finally have you on for a second time. You've done it, once before?
Yep, did it with Paul Goldman.
Awesome. Back to Paul, back in the day. So
Yeah.
we're going to change the format a little bit today. So why don't you kind of talk about kind of what you have planned and what the audience can expect?
So we decided that no longer would Joe be quizzing other people on their real estate careers, but today we're flipping the script a little bit, and I will be asking Joe a series of questions. So hopefully these are questions that you wish you had the answers to at some point when you were watching these podcasts previously, and you can learn a little bit more about Joe and 54 and where we started as well.
Awesome. Let's jump right in.
All right. So, basically just give me an overview. Where did things begin? I know that you started originally in mortgages. Tell us a little bit about that.
Started mortgages out of college, hospitality background prior to that. I want to say this about 2004. I'm going to go through it pretty quick. 2008 market crashed, had a mortgage company from 06 to 08, trying to make odds and ends meet. At the time, we had 4 young kids, so like daycare wasn't an option. Just where the economy was, kind of the earning potential of both of us to be employed and putting 4 people in daycare didn't make sense. So I just worked like 2 or 3 jobs on and off from about 08 to 2011. At that time, our youngest, when he was starting VBK, which is preschool, Rose got licensed. A buddy of mine was telling me about Zolids, DJ Rondu from Beta Bay Lending. They were executing them at a high level. She kind of got licensed. I was already licensed because I was licensed back when I was doing mortgages. Went to Prudential Tropical Realty, which is now Berkshire Hathaway. And then we kind of just started from there. It was just a way we heard that, hey, we can make money. We could start to try to build a business again. And one thing led to another.
Gotcha. And back in the day, nobody was doing marketing like you were. So what got you there? How did you start doing the sites that you were doing and community pages and all the different marketing pieces that you were doing as a team when it was just you and Rose?
So there were some sites, like I want to do a lot of research. So I was more kind of behind the scenes. She was learning the craft and the skill of real estate, and I was learning more of how to build a business and what kind of went into it. So what I saw, I just honestly study top performers, what they were doing to kind of generate business, how they were taking their business seriously. I want to say, a lot of producers and a lot of agents, you come in, they're kind of doing the same principles, right? When we got in, it's like, build your sphere, call expires, call FISBOs. That's all it was. Back when we started, if you were marketing or spending money on business, it was kind of frowned upon. It's not like it is today. So I knew that if I were to just be calling expireds and FISBOs, that I probably wouldn't have been worth it. Like, it's just not my niche. It's not the lane that I wanted to operate in. So I knew kind of where my passion was. I wanted to kind of build a brand. I wanted to deal with more warm inquiries than cold calls. And then I had to kind of just reverse engineer what did that look like. So then I started going online, do different searches, and just kind of figure out what people were doing to kind of gain traction, and then just try and duplicate that. I took a class, I remember, online on how to build a WordPress blog site, learn how to HTML code, how to embed video, how to build a website all together. And then kind of one thing led to another. At that time too, there wasn't too much competition.
Right.
So to gain traction, because it was, low barrier to entry, it was pretty easy to do. Nowadays, I wouldn't even try to attempt that.
Yeah. Definitely back in the day, I feel like you guys were the only people doing a lot of that stuff. Who were the people that you were emulating back then? Do you remember?
Website wise, there were several people doing it. I can't remember. I know there was a couple, an older one that the WordPress site I did with the company that taught me, they did as well. I know they're out of Newport Richie. I cannot think of the name of who they were, but I know that's kind of where I saw the site. I contacted the company, because typically when you're subscribing to a site and it's not something that you self-develop, you scroll the way down and you can see what company it was and always have a link. So I can't remember exactly who they were, but it was a small independent brokerage. They were putting out a lot of good content, stay to it, and we're picking up business. So we kind of started to do the same thing and then just add on to it. It started to work.
Yeah, for sure. What principles in general are non-negotiable for you in business?
Principles in general that are non-negotiable: complaining. I don't believe in complaining. I think we all go through our trials and tribulations. I don't look at really anything as a loss, more a lesson. But I think if you get stuck in the loss and you kind of get in that dark space where it becomes complaining or kind of nagging or bitching, whatever you want to label it, but you're not able to evolve and grow, right? So like you got to understand that if you're working and you're in constant action and you're trying to achieve a certain goal, there's going to be a lot more lessons than wins, and that's all part of the learning curve. So non-negotiables is never complain, never really being in a negative mindset. I think when you're starting off in real estate, I mean, general anything with straight commission base, that a lot of it's going to be mindset, right? It's real. You're going to have a lot of shit come your way, a lot of shit thrown to you, and it's going to be easy to get jaded. It's going to be really easy to quit. So I think to try to understand that and stay in a positive headspace and continue to, talk it through with yourself, understand what's going on, understand everything's a process. Try not to give too much into your emotions. Don't get too happy and overexcited for the wins. Don't start, pouting and crying for the losses. Just try to understand it's the process and, try to manage those emotions as best you can and pay more attention to the activities too. A lot of people take just the outcomes or goals. I do have goals. I do have desirable outcomes I'd like to achieve. But another non-negotiable for me, a principle would be stay true to the process. So develop that discipline. If I know it's going to take this many calls to get an appointment, this many appointments, to write an offer, this many offers that I write, to execute one, this many contracts written to do, to get one to the closing because of fallout, I'm not going to pay attention to those numbers. So if I got to make 50 calls for an appointment, I call 50, I don't have an appointment, I'm not quit. It's the law of averages. Sometimes you might get an appointment on the first call. Sometimes it might take 250, right?
Right.
Your metrics are. So just stay attention to the process, or stay, disciplined to the process. Don't get in a negative space where you're quitting. Don't skip the little stuff. I don't think success is achieved by like one massive swing out of the park. It's more, as we heard recently, small hinges swing big doors. So it's kind of staying true to those principles, those fundamentals, doing your daily activities. And that's what's going to compound into success rather than you landing like a massive deal or contract or something.
Yeah, totally. And I think here, it's always kind of felt that way. Like we had to sometimes tear away at the fluff and get back to the basics and figure out what were those basic things. But even, if agents are feeling like they need help with setting their goals or figuring out what those basic things are, you've always kind of had an open door policy for like, hey, I'll help you figure out where you need to be and what how to get to those goals, right? And reverse engineer the numbers.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because everybody, I'm not trying to plug somebody, or we're not trying to plug somebody to a goal here. It's not like we need to hit this level of volume, this many units. All right, we have 10 agents. Let's say it's 100 units. Every agent has to do 10. Now it's like, all right, what's your goal? We're going to hold you accountable to help you hold your goal, because obviously that's what you're trying to achieve. And then it's up for us on the back end to bring in as many agents as we need that, we have the bandwidth to handle onboarding and provide support to achieve the goal. Whereas I think a lot of organizations I've been guilty to in the past will try to, try to squeeze the square peg in the round hole. Hey, we got to hit this volume. In some way it's like, I'm going to have an excuse. I don't want to go out and recruit more. I don't have to go do what's tougher. So I'm going to go ahead and get it on you guys. We need to hit the goal. There's just so many considerators about that will late. And you can't run a business like that because everybody has different goals, different intentions. Everybody's getting this for a different reason. Some people to make a lot of money, others just to have flexibility. Some are to be a second time job, or it's a little bit of passive income. So it's just staying true to that and just trying to have an understanding, and then helping, like you said, as many people as you can. If they're in a tough spot, just talking it through, understanding there's not one way to fix it all.
Right.
But there's going to be different solutions, and you have one mouth and two ears for a reason. It's just listening to them, and then just through your own experience, seeing how you're best suited to kind of help them out or get them to where they need to be.
So speaking of help, what do you feel really sets us apart in terms of the support systems and everything that we have in place here to support our agents, even brand new agents coming into the industry? What are those support systems and back-end services that we provide that you feel really set us apart?
Yeah, so the easiest way to put it, we have an acronym here. It's called SOS, systems, opportunities, and support. And, there's a lot of things that go into it. I'm not going to do too deep of a dive, or we could be here all day. But more or less, the systems are here. We want to have the best technology for the agents to perform. We're not wanting to replace the agents with the technology. We're not trying to get technology and bring it on so the agents to do less work. It's to make them more efficient where they can outproduce the competition. And then in turn, our buyers and sellers can have a better experience. The opportunities is not only, most brokers aren't going to provide leads at all, right?
Right.
And the teams that do, they're going to provide leads. Here, we provide appointments. I think that's the highest level of opportunity you can possibly get.
Mm-hmm.
I think, a little bit too, you kind of came from the old regime. First stage, we onboarded as a team. So you've seen all the different changes. You remember what it was like when you started.
Yes, I do.
And what it's like now. Completely different. If the agents coming on now think they have it tough.
Mm-hmm.
It was a completely different world back then. But I think with the opportunities and the appointments and having that highest level is going to give them the best chance to succeed. They're getting those A buyers and sellers ready to go in the marketplace and execute now and, and purchase or sell a home, where it takes kind of that prospecting off the plate if you had leads. And if you don't have leads, it takes the cold call. Because a lot of people, they got to put in the sweat equity for that hard equity to buy leads. So, there's a lot that goes into it. And, it's easy to kind of get discouraged. And a lot of agents nowadays that I think don't have the support system because how fast everything's evolving, it makes it tough. And then the last thing is support. I think from my experience, there are a few people who can go out there and figure it out on their own. Then there's some, a smaller group who can figure out with online training and videos and tutorials, and I get all that. But still, what I see is a lot of people select the hands-on learning.
Yeah.
So here we layered our support. It starts at the highest level, but agents have accessibility to myself, Rose. They have accessibility to you around the organization. Then they have their own agent advisor, which is kind of like a private coach. They have Debbie, who's going to be in charge of training and coaching, and then all the other agents like Mike Peoples, Jordan Praise, Chris Marcatriano, who kind of will pour into the agents as well and to give classes or get coaching and mentorship. Here it's we don't look at it as, we're all competing, right? But here I feel it's more of a family vibe. I remember being at other brokerages and they get pissed off if they see anything succeed, right? Here it's like, we're winning, we're celebrating, everybody's working together. We look at it as like, there's a ton of business out there to go and get. And we want to help each other achieve that. So I think the three main things, I would say the attributes that separate 54 Realty from the rest of the real estate industry would be that the SOS, the systems opportunities.
Awesome. And obviously, I think that those things were born from what you experienced, what you and Rose experienced out there in the field, and what you wish you had at that time, right? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then I guess, that brings me into the dual model, this sort of hybrid model brokerage, which I had never heard of, right? So tell the audience a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I went to a mastermind and there was an agent who was presenting, some different things. So it's when we first started, I think we landed Zillow offers. We were about to go independent. And I was trying to figure out how to structure this. Typically you saw the models. You saw like there was a broker who had agents. Mm-hmm. There was a team that had agents. They were kind of functioning as a team, but sometimes a mini brokerage, depending on the scale they grow to, under a brokerage. And then there were a few where there was a team operated under the brokerage, but there was still the broker owner, typically the team lead, still taking the credit, all that kind of stuff. And I went to watch a gentleman present one time, and he talked about how he got rid of the team, which a lot of, I don't want to say it always is, there's going to be different reasons, but a lot of what I see, having the team leader take all the credit, get all the stats, it's for a little bit of ego, right? They want to get the name in there. They want to be in real trends, number 86, whatever it is.
Right.
I never really cared about that. I was more into the profitability of the organization, building a stable business that could succeed in a place where everybody went. So he went there and he talked about a leads division he created, which now we call our partnership model. Mm-hmm. And the leads division was simply operates as a team, but is run as a separate division of the company, where the outside world doesn't know the difference between it around a leads division, which is our partnership model, or an independent model, right? Because you have the business card, everything looks the same, but internally, it's going to be completely different, right? The independent agents is going to work like an EXP or Keller Williams, or the cap model, one of the most competitive in the industry, $10,000 cap. Then they make 100% of the commission. The lease division and the partnership division is more like, support. Hey, we're going to put up the equity, we're going to put up the training, we're going to put up the investment, and then you guys are going to reciprocate the work, right? It's more of a partnership, us coming together, working together, than it just being like, here, you're off on your own. and good luck to you. So we offer both models for agents, some who have been in a while or have built a database, or maybe they have the mindset of, hey, I want to kind of go hunt for myself and find my own business. We have a traditional independent model. And then we also have a partnership model. But in our partnership model, it doesn't look like you're part of the team. It looks like you're part of the brokerage.
Right.
My name's not on anything. I'm not taking credit. You're showing up in MLS. You're showing up on Zillow. And, we champion the agent, not the team.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the greatest things about 54 Realty is it's just in the slogan, which is it's about more than just real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And from the beginning, it always felt like people were important to you and to Rose.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to build your business as an agent and have that support, have those opportunities with the appointments and all that stuff. And when you're under a team, you're kind of held back a little bit, right? With the MLS credit, nobody knows who you are. And everything is like in your team leader's name. So, what was it that made you decide not to go with like the LoCicero team or LoCicero group?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's several things. One, there was, when I was in Tom Ferry coaching, one thing he already said is people over profits.
Yeah.
So he goes, a lot of people will get it backwards because, when you're small, your margins are skinny, you got to focus on the profits, but there's a degree of understanding where you need to put the people, even if you're sacrificing the profitability now. If you're getting the right people in the long run, then you're going to have, higher profits and it's more sustainable business. So it took out of the gate. As far as, before you answer the question, just with the restrictions that it has, I feel like if you have the team, you have the name, and people are taking your credit and things, it's almost like an artificial governor for you as the agent, right? You're going to be, in a weird way, held back on certain things. You're not getting the credit. You're not going to get the stats. It's going to be harder for you to compete.
Right.
And the team lead will say, hey, use the leverage of the brand. Great. Guess what happened to the seller sales? Where's the team lead?
Right.
I'm not seeing your name here at the stats. So, where it was important with me is, I kind of had that intuition and saw it, plus, some coaching and some wisdom that came away from people I was surrounded by. And then when kind of coming up with the concept, it wasn't, everybody kind of butchers it, right? 1 out of 10 people might pronounce it right.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the main thing is I wanted people to have buy-in. I thought that if people are it's easier to have buy-in as part of an organization with a name that's not tied into the last name of the team leader or broker owner.
Mm-hmm.
It's a name we call it come together. Because here at 54 Realty, I don't look at it as like the Joe LoCicero show or the Rose show. I feel it's a collaboration of everybody. I know it was Gary Ashton recently. He spoke about his organization, how it was his man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, he might be the artist and he's the face of recognition, but everybody's vital to support.
Right.
And I feel that here too. So I felt, hey, how can we create this organization where, I kind of saw ahead before beginning, where everybody can feel a part of it and they don't feel like, it's more of that dictatorship model where they're all taking on somebody's name.
Right.
And then as far as where the name came from, we're in Land O'Lakes. For people that are familiar with the area, there's a corridor, 54 corridor.
Mm-hmm.
We primarily focus Land O'Lakes, Lutz, New Tampa, Odessa, Wesley Chapel, and Trinity. And 54 was easy. I wanted a URL that was catchy, that was easy. It's not hard to remember, 54realty.com. So I made it real easy for the agents sharing information to get our name out there. Thought it was a little bit unique because I think I've seen some now, but at the time, told me this, but I hadn't seen any brokerages with a number, like a Realty. So I think it created a little bit of a degree of separation for us up from the beginning. And then the good thing is, then it grew into 54 corridors pretty big. So as we expanded, then we work everything north and south 54 corridor, which is a massive area. And now that we've kind of surpassed that, it's 54 counties in the state of Florida. So the name kind of lived on to mean different things through our evolution, but it all started with something that we wanted to be simplistic, that everybody could feel a part of, that started in our own backyard.
That's awesome. I didn't even know there were 54 counties in the state of Florida.
There's more, actually.
Oh. Do we need to cut that? Should we cut that part?
I don't even know which ones we don't.
So flipping it, I guess, a little bit in terms of, I know you got to think back a while now, a few years, but what do you, obviously the principles that we teach our agents now, what do you think the greatest service an agent can provide to their customers? What do you think that is? What can they bring to the table that will set them apart to provide the best service for their customers?
I mean, it's going to There's a lot that's going to go into it, but experience. And I think it starts on all levels. I think it starts from the experience of the initial phone call, to the experience of showing the house, to the experience of how we're building the relationship, to the experience on working on the bond, to experience getting to know as a person, to the experience of you trusting my advice over time, the experience of writing the offer, how I communicate that, how I handle the transaction, how I handle the close, and then the relationship afterwards, right? So I probably not the answer you're looking for.
I don't know what I was looking for.
but I think the experience is the most important part, right?
Yeah.
It's anything you do in life, you have a pleasurable experience, and you're going to want to repeat it. Right?
Yeah.
If it's a piss poor experience, then you're probably going to want to pull out as quick as you can and definitely not repeat it. So if any part of building that relationship as an agent with a buyer or seller is a poor experience, you're probably not going to get to the finish line. And if you happen to, you're probably not going to work.
So it's really just about making the customer's whole thing from beginning to end a pleasurable experience, and not difficult, at least, right?
Yeah.
Not stressful.
But understanding there's a difference between knowing you're right and saying you're right. So not getting those arguments regardless of what they think, kind of that old mindset the customer's always right. Just if it's not vital, just move on. But a lot of people, once again, you get caught into your ego and you want to argue and kind of prove that point. Somebody's pissing you off what it might be. Just have an understanding of that none of that really matters.
Right.
Delivering the experience. If you know you're right, they did something wrong, I'll still apologize. I'm like, I'm sorry you feel that way, and then I'll segue into whatever I was going to try.
I'm sorry you feel that way. It was kind of not the greatest apology.
No, but it is an apology.
I'm not really sorry. I'm sorry you feel that way.
Well, when you say it, it goes pretty quick.
Yeah.
And they see they got the sorry, and I'm not going to.
I'm gonna pay attention next time you say that to me. I'm like, oh, I see what he's doing there.
You want to know what chicks?
Oh my goodness. So, I mean, obviously that brings it back to some basic principles of, what you would probably want to teach all the new agents walking through the door, right? In terms of coaching, and obviously you're still involved with coaching the agents, what are you most passionate about when it comes to teaching and coaching the agents? Like downloading what part of your experience into their brains so that they can be successful in this industry?
I think one, just hoping that they can get to their goal quicker than it took me, just having that, being able to download the wisdom, intuition I have over the years and what I've done. But more importantly, I think just trying to help them have a greater understanding, understanding how this works. At first you come in, like I was, in a coaching group this morning, and they were kind of, having difficulty with something. We kind of role played it, and this is what's going on, and we were trying to talk that through, and all I thought of is, what I was trying to get in their heads is explain, like, hey, listen, we all have that. The thing is that you just don't have enough people, so it's kind of sticking out a little bit more, and just kind of have an understanding, become more self-aware of what this looks like, because it's easy kind of when you're starting off to get discouraged, or especially if you're working from home, you feel like you're on an island, we're going through this problem, and trying to explain to them, we're all going through this. Like, everybody deals with it. We're all going to have buyers who show up property that writes it off for somebody else.
Yeah.
You're all going to have somebody work with for 6 months. You got the day you're out of town for one day at a funeral or something, they can write it off for somebody else to shut them down because they are patient not going to wait for you.
Yeah.
It's not a unique, isolated instance. It's not a case of the boo-hoos. Every top agent has talked through that. Every top performer deals with it. It's just that we get over and move on quicker and then have a larger database and clients all the time to work with. Right. So it's really having, I think the thing I try to get them to know most, because, here at the organization, I don't deal as much with the granular training, the how to open a lockbox, how to write an offer. There's other people doing that. I'm trying to give them the bigger macro scale of and understanding how the business looks like, making them self-aware of certain things, helping them understand certain things and, human psyche, how to interact with people, connect, things of that nature outside of the transaction, where you can kind of make the transaction a lot easier. I kind of have those conversations. Like today, I shared a tip where, when I was touring homes, I always said this, you've heard me in training before, with listening to the most time in the office. I kind of figured out what they're into, what they like, whether it's golf, fishing, typically they're having a memorabilia in the office. And a lot of times it might be, their kid's plaque from a sport they play. And then we'll get to talking about that. Little Johnny plays t-ball great. When's his next game? Kind of do some small talk Saturday. So I'd run back to my database and follow bosses, which is what we use. If a little Johnny has a game Saturday, make sure to follow up, set the task, and your mind goes up. I would call him that Saturday with nothing real estate related, just check on the game about little Johnny, how they perform and everything. That means a lot to people. Now, it's all downhill from kind of seeing you care about them, you're involved with them. They're not just transactional to you, but you're really there to help them and you care about their life. I think does go a long way. And there's ways where it doesn't have to be that difficult to do. I think a lot of agents get overwhelmed
Mm-hmm.
by all that. But
I see these tricks. Now it's all coming together in my mind. I see the Joe LoCicero tricks now.
Yeah.
Now I get it. Now I get it. No, I mean, come on.
Transparent.
Yeah, no, I think this weekend you checked on me, something that I was doing on a Saturday.
I wasn't in follow up, so I don't know if you're follow.
You don't need me in Follow Boss, but I am in Follow Boss. So,
Not in my day.
what do you think if you had to pick, let's say, 3 traits that you think, and this is across the board, not just in real estate, if you had to pick 3 traits that you see in successful people that you don't see in unsuccessful people, what would you say those 3 traits are that differentiate the 2 categories?
I mean, I'm sure there's several traits, but the 3 ones to me would be: you got to have strong work ethic. I don't think anything that's worth having is going to come easy. Right? You got to strive. You got to work hard. You got to bust ass. The second one is open-minded. It's real easy to get your ego involved, be closed-minded. Thinking you know it all. Trying to innovate before you emulate. If you have a blueprint for success, first thing people mostly want to do is kind of work hard, and then say, "Oh, I got a better way to do it," even though they haven't even started yet. And then the last, I think, is your mindset. The positive mindset. It's real easy to get discouraged, especially nowadays. There's a lot of negativity out there. Even worse than the outside world, the negativity. I think if you get your own headspace, it become a very dark place sometimes. So those 3 attributes, I think, if you work hard, you stay positive, and you're open-minded to constructive criticism, people who truly care about you and your success and coaching you and bringing you up, and you have those 3 attributes, you can essentially accomplish it.
Awesome. I couldn't agree more.
Wow.
So we should
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
You have another question? Or just in the stare at each other?
I thought that was our stare segment. I thought that was the moment of awkward.
I'll move.
So if you had to tell everybody in the audience, who are the people you think everyone should be following on social media?
I mean, I think there's going to be a certain lane for everybody depending on what you want to do. Some people that I follow that I think put out good content, obviously Tom Ferry, and I would think he'd be number one. Somebody I personally follow a lot of, John Cheplack, Buffini a little bit, in the real estate space. I mean, honestly, I do a lot of my peers, a lot of team leaders, a lot of people I mastermind with, and people that are on similar journeys. So that way we can kind of share and essentially, in a weird way, start coaching ourselves as accountability partners. So it's not that I don't think I'll go with the summit of the mountain or anything like that, but I kind of follow a lot of my peers, see what they're doing. Typically the mastermind groups I'm in with, they're different markets, and they kind of look what I'm doing, and then we kind of compare it up. What's working. And I can kind of look back, like, there's any people hate follow this person, follow this person all the time. Yeah. And then you see the traction they get, the video content. It makes this a lot easier for us to create content when somebody else already created it for the market. Right. So you get a lot of shortcuts, and success leaves clues. So I would say a lot of my peers are people I've mastermind with or who I follow most. But some of the bigger ones, if you're looking for like real estate business, and I mean, I think the best, at talking and captivating auditors is by far Tom, and the marketing that goes through it. But as far as like human psyche and a better understanding when it comes to recruiting or organization, John Cheplack. Yeah.
And you went through some coaching in some of those organizations too, right? I mean, no one's above coaching.
No, I was a coach in, 5-6 years. Yeah. And then, like I said, I'm still a coach. I'm still paying for masterminds. I'm still, I have accountability partners who will still coach me or be accountable. So I don't think that ever ends. I mean, I think you're always going to meet, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, they're coaches. Yeah. Throughout the career itself, coaches. Right. Something that never ends as long as you're looking to grow.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to the beginning of the conversation, like forward thinking and growth mindset and staying positive and looking forward and not, being caught up in some of the negativity or little things that can go wrong.
Absolutely.
So what's your favorite food?
Probably Thai food.
Thai food?
Yeah.
Like specifically anything in particular?
Oh,
Okay, Thai food. How about your animals? Can you tell the audience about all of your animals that you have?
Animals. So we have 6 dogs. I got to go to the list.
Can you name them? Can you name your 6 dogs? Go.
Spike, Bosco Roscoe, Hazel, Belle,
Wow, he got it, ladies and gentlemen. He got 6 dogs.
and then we have 14 goats. I cannot name them.
Oh, come on. You can name the 14 goats, right?
Any of them, so I really.
All right.
They all have different bell collars on. So I just call them by color.
Okay.
That tends to work for me. We got 2 donkeys, 3 koi fish,
Okay.
15 goldfish. We got a couple stray cats now. They got running around.
Oh my God.
And maybe 14 chickens.
Okay.
I think that's it.
And you have a cow.
Yeah.
How could you forget the cow? That's the biggest animal. And you know, what's going on in your world that you have this many animals? Like how does that happen?
No, you just start to buy it. People with land start to downsize and just give you animals. Sometimes they just show up unexpectedly.
Oh yeah.
So,
They just show up.
yeah.
So tell me about your family. You mentioned obviously Rose is your wife. You mentioned your 4 kids. Tell me a little bit about them.
So I have 2 girls, Alyssa, Savannah, 2 boys, Anthony and John. All are graduated. Our youngest, John, is still, he's a senior in high school. John right now, school, does wrestling, and then works at an insurance company as well. He does some part-time in the insurance company. Alyssa works here full-time, just had her first baby. I lives with her boyfriend over to the Terrace area. Anthony is working here part-time, and he just graduated high school trying to figure out what he wants to do. Working out here, and then sandwich shop Capriati's right down the street. And then Savannah's in the military. I think she just signed her 4th year. She's stationed now somewhere like an hour and a half from Georgia. Or Savannah.
Nice. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
Probably Switzerland. I always want to go to Switzerland.
Why Switzerland?
I was not thinking
Okay. I guess we're not going anywhere with that one.
Yeah. There's not much into it, but it's just about seeing some things.
Well, where's your favorite place you've ever traveled to?
Favorite place I've ever traveled to? I mean, we really like the mountains.
Yeah.
I think.
Anywhere where you have no reception.
Yeah. Can get off of maybe Alaska.
Yeah.
It's a little nice place.
Yeah, there you go.
Except for the Grizzlies. I don't know about that. But yeah, I mean, try to just get more into nature, cooler weather. You know, it doesn't have to be freezing by any means, but this past summer was deathly hot.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Just summer where it's a little bit cooler, and then like, you know, just from the hustle and bustle, everything here, I think it's just from my normal life. So sometimes when I want to relax or decompress, just try to do what's not normal or typical. I think it's just kind of getting out there off the grid a little bit, but you know, still running water, hot water.
Yeah, great.
And go camping.
No, you don't want to go Amish.
Nah, I'm good.
I just got caught up in this Amish television show. It was fascinating. It's like a cult. No, I'm not looking to do that. But it was interesting. It was interesting. So I mean, is that your favorite thing to do when you're not working? Is just get out of here, hightail it to the mountains, or what's your favorite? Like, I'm not at work. This is what I really want to do.
All right, but I'm fine just working outside in the yard, especially with cool weather. Tend to the animals, it's just peaceful. You know, they're all kind of dependent on you, but none of them seem angry or bitching at you. It's all the humans in my life. Constantly give me the look and assess of me. So I think it's just like a different tranquility, you know, where it's just, you can kind of just disconnect, relax, at ease. It brings me peace. Where I think a lot of times, I mean, it's fast paced and everything, but you know, people, I think when you're kind of interacting with them or eating something or wanting something or have expectations, well, there's really no expectations, just
cool. Sounds peaceful. What is your favorite drink?
What, alcoholic? Or?
Yes, of course.
I like old fashioned or dirty martini would probably be the top 2 if it's not just liquor.
Okay, all right. Do you remember any funny real estate stories?
Involving me?
Yeah, involving you. Involving you. Something funny that happened to you in your career out there.
I mean, yeah, my first listing appointment, I went out, I didn't know you were supposed to give a price. So I asked the sellers what price they wanted to list at.
But isn't that what you do now?
Yeah. So it is a little funny. These
Oh,
gonna get a lot of
this.
this time.
So what do you want to list at? Whatever you want. We got you.
There you go.
Right.
That's part of my You Name the Price program.
Okay. Got it. So if you could do it all over again, would you?
I mean, yeah, I would do it all over again. I would probably do it. I don't know if I'd structure it differently because you never know. You get to a certain level, and you kind of look back and think, I never really have any regret, I guess is the best way to answer that. So, yes, I would definitely do it again. And it's hard to become in a place and then kind of look back and critique it or have certain regrets or something that it might be because you never know what that would have looked like if you did it.
Right.
It happens for a reason. We go through our trials and tribulations. We go through our growth. And I think it's all part of the process to get where we need to be, which is here. So it's easy to look back and think I would have done things differently or, man, I would have looked like this, given the opportunity. But then again, if I went back in time, if I had the DeLorean from Back to the Future, and I was in that mindset, nothing might have come of that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it happens for a reason. Like you say, the course, I think you learn and you understand it. You pay attention to different models. But yeah, if I go back in time, I'll do it all.
Okay. Awesome. So what's next for us?
Tell me.
I don't know. Sky's the limit, I guess.
Keep going, keep growing. Keep warning to agents. Keep, hoping that we can help them accomplish all of their dreams. Become kind of that gateway for them. Anybody that's passionate real estate or truly wants to, if they're not right in the head and really want to take this on as a profession and be dedicated to it, we're a place to be. So I just say kind of just having that passion of, serving people, not just the clientele by ourselves, but also agents, staff here, and continue to give everybody that pleasurable experience, whether it's, the things that we've done here, primarily you and others with like our culture and making people really feel a part of the group, or outside things that we do for client appreciation parties, Santa, or, the Easter Bunny, all the parties that we have, all the events that we get involved in, just kind of having that experience for not only everybody within this building, not only all the buyers and sellers, but really everybody out there, right? Because as long as it's more just real estate, and we really want to give back to the community and just kind of be there to serve all.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time, Joe LoCicero.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for interviewing me on my podcast.
Are there any other questions that you wanted me to ask?
Not that I can think of.
All right, cool. I think that's a wrap.
I gave you all the ones I wanted.
All right. I hit them all.
I think you're good.
All right.
We thank you for joining into another episode of the Real Estate Playbook. We look forward to seeing you next week, and take care.